everyone, hope you're good and be happy always. Once again, welcome to Shachi's Academy, and today we will discuss what are the reasons behind the negative slope of demand curve. That means why is the demand curve negatively sloping? What are the conditions in which law of demand does not operate or demand curve is not negative? Then what is Giffen's paradox? What are normal and inferior goods and what are their slopes? So let's begin with the reasons which are behind the negative slope of demand curve. Number one is law of diminishing marginal utility. That means the satisfaction you gain from the consumption of additional commodities keep on declining. Take for example, you consume first sandwich, okay? Then maximum satisfaction will be gained, maximum. Then second sandwich, with second sandwich, it will decline. You will gain some lesser amount of satisfaction, okay, lesser. Then again with third sandwich, you may be full and you feel you are getting no more satisfaction, no satisfaction. You don't want to have any sandwiches then, okay. In the same manner, when you purchase commodities, for the first commodity you are ready to pay a very high price. Take for example this bottle of wine. This bottle is in India normally costs you 1000 to 1500 rupees. So I am ready to pay 1000 rupees, 1k for this bottle. But if I am offered another bottle the same price, I won't take it. Why? Because I already have this bottle and I am satisfied with this bottle. But if someone offers me this bottle for rupees 800, this is rupees 1001k and this is rupees 800, then I may purchase the second bottle. For third bottle, I may be ready to give only 500 rupees. That means the satisfaction I am gaining is declining, and that's why my marginal utility is also declining, and that's why I am ready to pay only lower prices. That means demand for higher commodities, or we will demand more commodities only at lower price. That means low price means higher demand. In the same manner, we can make a graph over here. That means when price was 1k, we demanded only one bottle. When price decreased to 800, this is 1k, then 800 we demanded 2 bottles, and for third bottle it was 500. That means our demand curve is sloping downward. This is our demand curve. Got it? So this law is behind the negative slope of your demand curve. Second point here, income effect. See, when our prices of any commodity decrease, take for example the price of this bottle. If this bottle costs me 500 rupees, the third bottle is costing me only 500 rupees. That means for the rest of the money, first bottle was of 1000 rupees, now I am getting the same bottle for 500 rupees. That means I am gaining extra income of 500 rupees. That means my income is saved, and with the same amount of money I am able to purchase more. Previously for 1000 rupees there was only one bottle, but for now for 1000 rupees I am getting how many bottles? 2 bottles, 3 bottles in fact, okay. At 500, that means in price of 1000 rupees I am getting now 2 bottles or 3 bottles. That means at higher prices demand is low. Second point is income effect. See, when prices get reduced, if prices decline, say for example, here price was high. Now, for any commodity, take for example bottle only. Previously, our bottle cost us how many rupees? 1k. That is 1000 rupees. 1000, 1k. That means we were purchasing only one bottle. Now, the same bottle, if it cost us 500 rupees, that means for same bottle we are saving 500 rupees. That means for lower prices we are demanding more because our real income has increased. Real income means the amount of goods and services we are able to purchase with the same amount of money. Previously I was able to purchase only one bottle with the help of 1000 rupees, but now with same 1000 rupees I am able to purchase 2 bottles. That means my real income has increased. Real income is in terms of goods and services we can purchase in reality, okay. So here I can purchase 2 bottles. So with decrease in price, our real income increases, and with increase in income we can purchase more commodities. That means income effect is acting over there. Then substitution effect. When any commodity becomes cheap. Take for example we have substitutes, tea and coffee. They are substitutes or not? Okay. If price of tea declines, take for example, previously both of them cost 200 rupees per kg. Rupees 200 and rupees 200 per kg. Okay, per kilogram. Now, prices of tea have reduced to rupees 100 per kg. In this case, what has happened? Your coffee has become expensive, though its price is same, because in comparison to the price of coffee, your tea has become cheaper. With reduction in price of tea, your coffee has become expensive, and that's why customers of coffee, if previously 100 customers were consuming coffee in a certain market, now at least 50 will shift towards the consumption of tea because tea has become cheaper. That means with reduction in price, substitution effect happens and consumers of another commodity, that means another substitute commodity, also shift towards the consumption of that reduction, the price reduced commodity or the cheaper commodity. Okay, then additional consumers. Now with reduction in price, more consumers shift in this. That's what happened over here. Here, with price reduction of your tea, more consumers or customers shifted towards the consumption of tea. That means additional consumers will join if price gets reduced. So that means at lower prices, your demand is high. Here the price is low and demand has become higher. You may always see that in case of your demand curve, your demand increases towards right and your price increases towards your upward direction. Okay. So, and that means your demand curve is negative. That's what happened here also and here also. Then your different uses of commodity. Any commodity, like take for example milk, sugar, they have different uses. Take for example milk can be used for feeding babies or children. They can be given milk, okay, in their diets. Or you can make tea or coffee with milk. You can make different kinds of confectionery commodities with that, confectionery items with that, cake with that, or you can make laddus with that, and different items with milk. But when milk is expensive, take for example milk is very expensive, it is 100 rupees per kg, 100 rupees per kg, and that means you can afford maybe only 1 kg of milk. That means demand is low. But when the same milk, the price of same milk gets reduced to 25 rupees, you may be ordering 4 kgs of milk, 4 kg of milk or 4 liters of milk. That means demand has increased with reduction in price. And again the demand curve is negatively sloping. This has happened or not? That means with decrease in price, the same commodity which was only used for certain uses like making tea and coffee, now it is put to some lesser important uses also, and we are making other things also with that. So multiple uses of any commodity or different uses of any commodity can be done when prices get reduced, and we can consume more of a commodity with reduced prices, and that's why demand curve is negatively sloped. Again, exceptions. Now we will discuss the exceptions to the law of demand. Conspicuous necessities. Nowadays there are so many items in market which do not have real use, like video games in the market, various types of PSPs are there, PlayStations are there, many types of attractive items are there, lamps are there, decorative items are there. In fact, they are not the necessities of life, but with change in lifestyle, with the change in standard of life of people are demanding more and more of these types of commodities at higher prices. That means the higher the price of commodity, more will the demand for such type of commodities. If something is just like glittering or something is really attractive, we can pay higher prices with that. And in fact, demand for those commodities increase with increase in prices also. Take for example iPhones, they are very expensive and they are demanded in large amounts also, larger numbers. Then we have inferior or Giffen goods. For inferior goods also, the demand curve is positively sloped. With increase in price, the demand increases. Take for example, if something is being sold at roadside or at vendors, very small shops, you won't purchase it because you think that commodity is cheap. But the same commodity, if its price gets increased and it is placed at malls or very nice shops, then you can purchase them. In that case, increase in price, that means if price was low, their demand was low. But with increase in price, their demand has also boosted and that has increased, and that means our demand curve is positive. In that case, your demand curve is not operating. Okay, and here this is exception to the law of demand. Then future expectations. If you expect that prices of certain commodity will increase in future, then you can purchase anything at higher prices also. If you expect that there will be a war in any nation, in your nation, then you can purchase those commodities at higher prices. If you expect that you will lose your job, then you may stop your consumption also. In that case also, your demand curve will not operate and you may consume more commodities at higher price or even lesser commodities at lower price. Okay, so here if you expect there will be war in your nation, then you may purchase commodities at higher price, more commodities at price. Okay, then here higher price, more consumption. Like for example, in Corona time period, what happened? Masks were sold for rupees 250 per mask, but in fact the mask cost only 10 rupees. But during the peak time of Corona, masks were sold for rupees 250 or 500 rupees also, and N95 masks were sold for 1000, 2000 rupees also in India. So that is the case where future expectations and its conditions may affect the price, and price curve, or you can say demand curve, is positively sloped. Now change in fashion and taste. If fashion has changed or you have acquired some new taste, so you may consume things at higher prices also. If thing is very expensive, that means it is very likable that you can consume it in more quantities. If something has become expensive, take for example friendship bands. They are not necessities, but still they are consumed in larger amounts at higher prices. Okay. Then we have status symbol. Cars, your refrigerators, decorative items, jewelry, they are all status symbol and they are purchased more at higher prices and lesser at lower prices, because people think that their status will be enhanced with the consumption of these types of commodities, with expensive cars, with yachts, jewelries and vacations, etc. And that's why they consume more of them at higher prices. If the thing is very high price, just like in auctions for diamonds, etc., if it's expensive, they go for bidding also, and if the thing is expensive, they will purchase that in more quantities. The lack of information. In certain situations, demand curve does not operate. Why? Because of your lack of information. A customer may not be knowing that in a shop elsewhere, in some other market, a thing is available at lower prices. In that case, that person may purchase the commodity at higher prices also. That emergent situation. Just now I had spoken about your Corona pandemic. In that situation, that was very emergent. Oxygen cylinders were in scarcity, they were scarce, they were in deficiency, then masks were not available, and during that pandemic, at peak of that pandemic, masks, sanitizers, medicines, everything was sold at exorbitant prices, very high prices, and people purchase them in larger quantities also. In that case also, that situation defied your law of demand, and there the law of demand was positively, your demand curve was positively sloped and not negative. That means with increase in price, demand also increased. Okay, that means they thought that that thing won't be available in future. Then we come to our Giffen's paradox. What is that? This Giffen's paradox is a phenomena that was presented by the economist Robert Giffen. He said that it's a rare phenomena where the demand curve slopes upward. That means it is positive. That we have discussed over here. It's a positive curve, okay, and shows direct relationship between price and demand. In normal cases, for normal people who are middle class people or who value money and think that they will purchase more commodities at lower prices, that means with rise in price their demand decreases. That is not operating here. It is a rare phenomena for certain commodities. When their price increases, their demand also increases. Okay, and here discuss inferior commodities or inferior goods and normal goods also. For inferior goods, now I discussed that For certain commodities which are sold at roadside, you may not purchase it because you might feel that this is not a good commodity, this is a cheap commodity, this is not qualitative, this is substandard item, and that's why you may not consume that commodity or purchase that commodity. But the same commodity, if it is sold at higher nice shops or in some malls or high-end shops, then you may consume them or purchase them. That means with increase in their price, the demand has also increased. So the demand curve is positively sloped like this. With increase in price, price was low here. When the price was low, the demand was also low. See, the demand is here. Okay, the Q is here. Suppose with 10,000 rupees, no, if the price was 5 rupees, the demand was only 1 unit for them. Okay, when the price was 50 rupees, or you can say 250 rupees, 250 rupees, then the demand increased to 10 units. That means with increase in price, your demand has also increased. And here the demand curve is positively sloped. That means its slope is like this, positively sloped. And negative slope is this, negative. And this is your positive slope. This is positive slope makes your 45-degree angle. Always remember that the angle, the diagram you can make with the 45-degree angle is your positive slope for demand curve. Okay, this is demand curve. Now, okay, now we discuss our income effect. Okay, what is the income effect? For normal commodities, what are normal commodities? Those are qualitative commodities, and for them, the income effect is positive. What is positive income effect? Positive income effect means when your income increases, the demand for those commodities also increases. Take for example, if previously in my job I was getting only 10,000 rupees and I had only 2 pair of shirts, those were branded. That means at 10,000 rupees of income, I was purchasing only 2 branded shirts in 1 year, or you can say in 6 months. 2 branded shirts. Okay, demand for branded shirts. Now my income has increased to 50,000 rupees, and now I can afford more and I can purchase more shirts, and now I can purchase 10 shirts in 1 year or 6 months. That means with decreased or lower income, my demand was low, and with higher income my demand is high. What does it mean? And when you join these points, they make a positive slope. That means this is income. Y stands for income. Okay, Y has been taken, income has been taken on your vertical axis, and your demand for these commodities has been taken on your horizontal axis. Okay, demand. And demand curve is positively sloped. It makes a 45-degree angle, right? So this is positive slope for normal goods. Those are branded commodities, those are quantitative commodities. But for your inferior commodities, your demand curve is negative. How? Suppose the same example I will take here. Suppose previously I was getting only 10,000 rupees and I was purchasing some substandard commodity, maybe substandard type of biscuits and packets of bread, loose items I was purchasing. Okay, so I was purchasing them. Now my income increased to 12,000 rupees. Again, still I am consuming them. My consumption for them has increased. But eventually what will happen? It will keep on increasing, but eventually my income increases to say 20,000 rupees. Now I can afford some quality products and I will stop consuming these inferior commodities. Those are loose commodities, and I will go to mall, some good shop, and I will purchase packaged items. Those are quality products and I feel that is good for me. I can purchase them. So what will happen? The consumption of this inferior commodity, you can say demand for inferior commodity has decreased. This is demand for inferior commodity, and this is my income. My income is increasing. With increase in income, I have stopped the consumption of inferior commodity and I am shifting to some other commodity. That means the demand for this commodity will decrease. Here, up till here, this demand was increasing. Previously it was 5, now it has become 10, but eventually it has stopped. It will stop. Here it is stopped. Okay, now I am not moving this way. Okay, this demand is not increasing. Now it has stopped and I have shifted. That means my demand will decline and it will again reduce to 5. It has become 5 units, and now I am consuming only 2 units of that, and my demand curve will become that way. Okay, now this portion, this portion from A to B. What is that? This is similar to your negative slope of demand curve. Okay, now this is your negative slope of income curve, and here the relationship between your income and demand is negative. With increase in income, you have stopped the consumption. That means you have stopped the consumption of inferior goods. That means your income effect for inferior commodities is negative. Okay, and the price effect for inferior commodities is your positive. That means with increase in price, these commodities will be demanded in larger amounts. That means inferior goods have positive price effect and negative income effect. What is that? Inferior goods have negative income effect and positive price effect. That was the thing we need to discuss in detail, and we have discussed it. Still, if you face problem in understanding this topic, please do write to us, leave some comments and ask in comments. We'll be more than happy to answer them. Thank you so much. Take care. God bless you.